Hello. Yes, I'm back. Only just, very slowly, becoming human again after the past weekend. As you can see by the title page, this is indeed my thoughts and boughts, if you will, of the past weekend, which was TFNation 2024. There are some things that I'm going to probably forget, and names and things like that, but obviously, my mind isn't very good when it comes to remembering names from some people. I'm better with faces, so bear with me. And also, kind of like this past weekend was quite the whirlwind again. But an incredible weekend, it really, really was. But before I get too far into everything, I want to lay out, and also before I get into my haul video, because the reason why I'm sticking my haul video at the very end is because, people might stick around for that because that's what people mostly would like to see. But I'm going to get into some negatives first. Now, these negatives and issues that happened during the past weekend has absolutely nothing to do with the actual convention itself, with TFNation itself. It is not a negative at the event. It is indeed at the hotel. And some people will be quite intrigued by this. And I can only say that the reason why I'm starting this video off on a negative note is because I really want to get my points across about this, because it's quite important. I was made aware of one negative that it wasn't something that impacted me because, well, I didn't book my hotel. It was actually a good friend of mine, America's ass himself, my good friend Chris, who graciously and very kindly booked my room, I think he booked about three or four rooms altogether. And because of that, I bypassed any sort of issues that did actually become apparent this year. Now, I saw someone post something after they got home. I noticed yesterday when I was looking through Facebook and social media, and that somebody mentioned this happening to them. And also, I think I spoke to two people at the event itself that got stung by this as well. And apparently the hotel has a new policy, if you can call it a policy. I call it bullshit. But yeah, for some reason, they charge your card twice. If you booked your hotel room with your card, so an online booking or something like that, and paid for it via your card, for some reason the hotel now has a new policy that charges your card twice. So you get charged two times, not once, two times for your room. Now, I don't think this affected everybody, so I'm only aware of about 3 people so far of this happening. So it's either it's a glitch with their system that caused this, but for one person I spoke to, this is apparently a new policy from their opinion of this. And so 3 individuals that I'm aware of got stung by this. So I want to make this public and bring this problem up, because the reason why I'm making this apparent is anybody that stays at the Hilton Metropole Hotel where TFN is hosted, just be aware of this could be a problem. It may not be a problem next year. Things might have been ironed out by then, but please keep it in mind, or consider alternative hotels nearby if you want to put your mind at rest. Because everybody saves up their money. They sort out what is for food, what is for refreshments, things of that nature, and then they have their money for robots. When you get stung by something like that and you get charged twice, because the prices at the Hilton for the hotel rooms are constantly keep going up. But the one person, I don't want to name this person just in case they don't want their name put out there. Yeah, the one person I spoke to, I believe it was on the Saturday. Yeah, it was the Saturday. And he basically said to me that, yeah, he got stung, he got charged twice, and that second payment, the hotel was going to pay back. It's something what they do now on their policy agreement or their new policy agreement. They possibly may take a second amount, the same as the amount that you agreed to pay in the first place, and they take it a second time, but it's like a placeholder sort of thing, but they will pay you that half back, but it's going to take up to 7 to 10 working days for that money to go back into your account. So you are now more money less than you was originally. That is now eaten into the money that you saved up to use at the convention itself. So this is, yeah, so that's one negative. So just please be careful if you're best paying with cash if you can, because the good thing is about with the Hilton is you can book and pay on arrival. So once you've booked your hotel room, you don't have to pay it straight up. You can pay it in person when you arrive. So my suggestion is, in order to not get stung, try to possibly pay with hard cash, because this will bypass this new policy thing, so you won't get stung twice. And also another one is in very bad hospitality. Some staff apparently were quite rude on the check-in desk, and my good friend Chris, he had a bit of a rude twat on the check-in desk. That was, yeah, so that was that one. Now this is something that did actually impact me personally, or caused a bit of it was more of an annoyance than anything. Again, it is aimed at the hotel, not the convention, and it was room access keys. It wasn't just me, multiple people probably had problems as well, and it was access. Now, my room I was in was an executive room, and what I mean by that is it gives us with us being in an executive room, it gives us access to an executive lounge. And at set times you get free alcohol, and throughout the day it's free soft drinks and cups of tea, and they also serve snacks, and you can have your breakfast in there as well if you so wish, and so on and so forth. And it's just a chilled out, more of a relaxed area if you just want to kind of take yourself away from the madness for a bit and just be, you, yourself and I sort of thing. And so basically so access to the executive suite was a problem because of the access card key, and also access to our hotel room was also a problem. Now, it's a 4-person room. On the booking, there was officially 4 people staying in that room. So it was myself and 3 others. We also did not get, so basically only 2 people was allowed to have breakfast. For some reason, Chris told me that apparently at one point executive access was not on our booking, even though it was, because it's an executive room. So they tried to kind of give us a cop-out response with that one. But yeah, so we were constantly back and forth trying to back and forth multiple times, including Chris and a couple people that was also in other rooms that he also booked. They also had problems, according to Billy as well. He also had apparently the TFN crew had issues with access because of the cards not working. So it wasn't just us. It was kind of like it was a problem for multiple people. So at one point we had 4 cards. They gave us 4 access cards, so we had 1 each. And They was all working at one point, and all of a sudden, all of them stopped working, except for two. No, all but two stopped working. So all of us had a card, and I went up to my hotel room and I put it onto the door lock, and it flashed amber, not green, and I was like, oh shit. So I tried again, same thing. So I go back downstairs and tried to find Tony and whoever else I was sharing with. I managed to bump into Chris, and he told me, right, okay, he's also had problems. And so I managed to find Tony, told him, and we tried to go to the concierge desk thing, and they fixed the problem. We then go and tried the new card. It did indeed work, but then the one that already worked stopped working. So yeah, so basically, even though they tried to rectify the problem, it still caused a problem. So by the end of the weekend, we still had two working cards to access our room alone. And then the other two cards that wouldn't gain us access to the hotel room only worked to access the executive suite. Yeah. So that caused not a lot of, it didn't cause any panic with us or anything. It just was it was annoying. With all that said, I'm going to go now straight into the positives, which is, of course, about the event itself. And TFNation 2024, now we're coming to the positives, and it was an incredible weekend. Despite the negatives that I just brought out, I still managed to have a great time. It was an incredible time yet again. I had an absolute blast, and it was an absolute whirlwind of a weekend again. It was great to see my fellow friends that I've met over almost 15 years. Next year will be 15 years that I've been going to these every single year since 2010, people. I've been going to Birmingham for a little convention called, originally it was Auto Assembly, then TFNation started. So ever since 2010, I've been going to Birmingham for a Transformers convention, and it'd be 15 years next year for that, which I'm just like, where has that time gone? Jesus, I had hair! But no, I was a baby-faced, about to turn 19 years old at the time. And I was roughly about a year into making videos on YouTube at that time. And yeah. Where's that time gone? It was an incredible weekend. It was great. My voice is literally breaking as I'm making this video. Great. It was great to see all the fellow friends that I've met over the many years, and also it was great to meet some first timers. This year was incredible for first time attendance, to the point where they had to enforce a cap on the Saturday, just for the Saturday. And also they had to cap ClubCon as well. In the entirety history of TFNation, since it started back in 2016, there's never been a year where it's sold out. Or, a single day has sold out, or they had to enforce a cap. They doubled their attendance of 2016. The official attendance throughout the whole thing, Friday to Sunday, all attendance for the full weekend. The end official numbers, should I say, they doubled their attendance of 2016. And on the Saturday, I was told by a couple of people that 900 people 900 people went there for the first time. 900 people. That is just... So you can see why they had to enforce a cap on the Saturday. Yeah. Altogether, throughout the weekend, this is all 3 days, there was 1,800 people. That was the final numbers. That was throughout the full weekend. Nearly 2,000 people. To the point where TFNation now is becoming very, very well known. It's becoming very international. I spoke to, I believe it was the Saturday evening. Or was it Friday evening? Anyway, and I nipped out for a quick vape. Well, a quick vape that turned into 30 minutes. If you watch my special vlog, you will see where I'm getting at with that. If you're interested, link is in the description. So yeah, I nipped out for a 5-minute vape, just get some fresh air, and I ended up talking to people outside, and how it goes, and ended up being nearly half an hour. And anyway, so I come back in, and Sam waves me over to where they sat. So Sam Silvermoon, so Sam Troubadour Firestorm was there, and Sam Silvermoon, our good friend, and J-Bot was there, and there was this young lass who I've never seen before, and they were talking to her, and they gestured me to come over, and they introduced me to her. I can't remember her name, I do apologise. But this person was there for the very first time. She was quite anxious. I could see from her body language, she, obviously she's very new to the whole convention thing. And she was from Norway. So that was cool. So we were talking to her. She seemed to kind of, enjoy herself at that moment, which was really nice to see. And there was another guy as well that I spoke to for the first time. And again, I do apologise, I cannot remember your name, but you subscribed to me on YouTube, which was very gracious of you at the time of me talking to you. But I can't exactly find you. For some reason, my YouTube isn't telling me exactly who subscribed to me within the last few days properly. So I can't exactly tell you this person's name. But there was a guy, he was quite thin, quite tall. He was a bit taller than me, and he had glasses. And I basically, this was during the... this was ClubCon. It was ClubCon, yes. It was ClubCon. So I nipped out again for a vape. And so I nipped out. It was basically kind of like how ClubCon works if you've never been. Basically, they kind of do like little little intervals in between to kind of like get ready for the next segment. So in between those segments, I would just quickly nip out for a couple of minutes and have a vape and then come back in. So on this one occasion, actually 2 occasions on the same evening, I nipped out, had a vape, and there was this guy just stood on his own. At first he never said anything to me, and I never spoke to him really. I didn't realise he was there for TFNation at first. I thought it was just a normal, someone staying at the hotel, And so he just started talking to me, and I found out that he was there for TFN, and this was his very first ever convention. He's never been to a convention before. Well, he's never been to, he had never been to TFNation before, of course. And so we got talking, and we got into a very deep conversation about mental health, a bit of anxiety issues, and unable to he found it very difficult to be able to approach people. And at that point, he felt his first experience was a bit of a mixture of emotions. When he arrived on the Friday, And the Friday, he was pretty much just endlessly roaming around and didn't really know how to fit in. And the Saturday, he said that things seemed to kind of like feel a little bit better. And then, so in our conversation, we had this very, very deep conversation, and I tell him, I'm telling him that, you know, I know exactly how you feel, because when I started going to these conventions back in 2010, I also felt like that. I had a huge panic attack back then, and I also found it difficult to. I also found it difficult to talk to people for the first time, and I found it difficult to make friends back then. And it was my very first experience ever going to a convention. So I was like, I kind of know where you're coming from, and I told him my side of things. He was having an interaction with me. He also then started to feel like he was having a good time, and his demeanour changed. And I saw him a couple times after that over the rest of the weekend, and he had a smile on his face. He recognised me straight away. Every time he saw me, he came over to me and he thanked me. He shook my hand, and I said, "If you ever see me or anyone else, by all means, come and say hi. I don't mind." So I found that very, very nice and rewarding, really. So if you know who you are, please, by all means, I know you subscribe to my channel now because I saw you do it, but if you comment below the video, please let me know if this was you, and I would love to put a name to the face. I'm so sorry I forgot your name, because I'm so bad with names. I'm better with faces. There was loads of first timers. There was a hell of a lot of young lasses as well this time. There was a lot of new faces. Quite a nice mixture of young people and regulars and so on. It was quite cool. So what else did we get up to? So yeah, obviously I travelled up the Thursday, of course, and travelled up the Thursday alongside Sam, this nugget, and Tony, and we met up with Lawrence when we got to the coach station. And so we got a taxi from there, made our way to the hotel, the Hilton, and we had to wait around a couple of minutes until Chris and Matt and everyone arrived, because obviously they did the booking for the hotel. So we're just chilling in the bar, met Mark, Catherine, and I can't exactly remember who was there at that moment in time. There was a couple of guys from Transformers the show there, and there was there wasn't a massive crowd of people there, but it was still quite a few, but still not as much as the rest of the weekend. So it was easier to kind of make your way around and kind of talk to people. Oh, of course, yeah, Sammy was there as well. Oh, did he? No, he got there Friday, didn't he, Sammy? Anyway. Sorry, I'm trying to remember stuff that happened in my mind. I'm getting little reminders blasting in my head, and it's putting me off a bit. But yeah, so we got there. Actually, we got there in good time. Actually, it wasn't too bad. The travel up wasn't too bad. It wasn't too hot as well. The weather was quite nice. It was quite cool and breezy, so we could deal with being on the coach for 4 hours getting there. So yeah, we rocked up at the hotel for about I think we got into Birmingham for dead on 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We got to the Hilton for about 2:30, and we just talked to people, having a good time, having a few drinks. And it was just awesome. And then more people arrived the Friday, and then there was some people there that only came for one day on the Saturday as well. So yeah, it was great to see Sammy, my good friend Sammy Skullgrin. He's one of the influencers that really helped me gain a bit of an audience on YouTube. Back when I first started, him as well as Jared Wolfgang 1, and a few other people back then that kind of waved the flag and did shout outs to kind of encourage people to check me out. And through that, I kind of started getting noticed, and and that's where my YouTube journey started. So, it was great to see Sammy, because obviously he wasn't there last year, so it was great to catch up with him. It's great to see Jared, Wolfgang One. He hasn't been for a couple of years, and it was really great to see him and Dave as well, his friend that he travelled up with. It was great to see them both, should I say. I saw a glimpse of George, exaggerated LG, and I saw Ray like for a glimpse. It was great to see, Richard Fieldhouse, and Mary and the kid, and his kid. The first proper conversation I had with Rich, it was just like, what have I done? What have I got myself into? But no, I love Rich. Rich and Mary are fantastic. Sam, it was great to see Sam Kelly, Silver Moon. It was great to see her again. J-Bot, Gareth, Billy. Oh yeah, Neil. Is it Neil Witcher? Neil. Anyway, I've met him for the first time face to face this year. I think he has been to TFNs in the past, but I think this is the first time we've actually had a proper face to face conversation. And I saw him over the weekend, and I got a selfie with him. It was really nice to have a nice chill out and chat with him a couple of times. Yeah, man, this past weekend, like I said, it's been a whirlwind to the point where I'm finding it very difficult to remember exactly what happened. And but no, I also tried Vietnamese food for the first time as well, which is really, really cool. But yeah, it was just really cool. It was also, I have to make this apparent, that it was good to see Sam, Jose Firestorm Sam, my good friend, for many, many years, since we were like 6 or 7 years old. It was great to see him come back to TFNation. I have to take this moment to just shout out to Sam, and well done for coming back. Behind closed doors, we have had conversations about TFN between myself and Sam, and it was great to see that he finally came for the full weekend this year, Thursday through to Monday with us, and he had a great time as well, and to the point where he is considering on coming again next year. So I'm very happy with that. But this is the beautiful thing about TFNation. It doesn't matter how many years or how much time has passed. It doesn't matter how much time has passed since the last time you went to a TFNation or whatever, or if your last one was an auto assembly. It doesn't matter how long it has been since someone has come. Whenever they do make an appearance after a bit of time away, they are embraced still, and it's as if you've never not been there. It's as if you've never been missed, and you've not missed anything, and you are instantly you're just embraced back into it, and it's as if no time has passed. And that's the beautiful thing about the people that go to this convention. And of course, I've got to say about Emily. Emily, I haven't seen. So we've known each other for like 8 years, which, oh my god, 8 years, that's mad. But anyway, she came for the first time. She hasn't been to any of the conventions since probably back since, I think the last one she went to was an auto assembly. So it's going back a fair few years. And the last time I saw her was last year. I saw her last year, which was at Manchester Minicon for a little bit, and then she came up on the Saturday this past weekend, and we saw each other a few times, and around the dealer room, and it was really lovely to see her very much. So yes. What else can I say? It was, you know what? Sorry, and I'm done trying to remember exactly what happened. Also, there was a couple of really funny, strange things that happened as well over the weekend that no doubt a certain Mr. Russell will probably talk about in his thoughts. But, well, Friday morning, we'd obviously got travelling up the Thursday, and once we got there, we were having a few drinks, and with everybody that was there on the Thursday evening and that. Obviously, we go to bed after having a few drinks, and I wake up the next day in a bit of a confused state. And I was convinced one of the people, I think it was Colin, that we were sharing with alongside Mark and Tony, and I was convinced Colin, because he wasn't in the room when we first woke up. He'd gone for a walk or gone into Birmingham or something, and he wasn't in the room, and I was convinced he had taken my jeans. I was in a this has never happened to me at a TFN before, and I woke up in a very confused state, and I was attempting to get dressed to go down for breakfast, and I picked up these jeans, and they just didn't look like my jeans. In my head, I realised why I was thinking that way, because I thought I'd packed a different pair of jeans that what I was wearing. I thought they were a different ones. So when I was looking through, like, the inside, the lining of the jeans just didn't they just didn't resonate with me at first. So I generally thought they were Colin's. I generally thought they were Colin's jeans. And so I messaged Colin frantically, and I said, "Are you wearing my jeans?" And he does reply to me saying, "No, because I'm not even wearing jeans." To the point where now Mark and Tony are in complete I just bent over in complete confusion and laughter at what is going on. And then I find out they were indeed my jeans that had my belt in and everything. And yes, that happened. It was just one of those type of weekends where it was just so much to process. It was to the point where sometimes I had to take myself away from it for a little bit, because it was kind of like a sensory overload. But it was in a good way, not a negative way, in a good way. It was that much of a type of weekend where I would literally just be like walking to the bar or back to the dealer room or going to a panel, and I was recognised really quickly, and I would just be in endless amounts of conversations outside where all the people having a cigarette and vaping or whatever. There was loads of conversations I had outside the hotel. There was loads of conversations I had in the bar itself. It was just one of those type of weekends where I was just non-stop in a conversation with somebody. There was a couple of people that I sadly only had a brief discussion with. I wish I'd been able to speak more with people. But it was one of those type of weekends where it was so difficult. Also, yes, Pixel Formers. I met him for the first time properly. Pixel Formers. He was really nice. So obviously my good friend Bradman Exilian. Always a pleasure to see him, and also Luffy as well. Jim Monkey Zen. It was great to see him as well. Also, I will just add, I do have some regrets from the weekend, which was I didn't manage to meet David Kay or Greg Berger. Again, it's one of those things. I tried to go to see Greg and David, but they were swamped, and also they had the special autograph pass signing things going on as well as their panels that they were on. So it was one of those things. I'd love to have seen Greg, and I would love to have seen David, but you know, it was a mixture of the time just got away from me. As I said, as I've been saying, the time just got away from me, and when I did see them, there was either taking personal time, which I don't feel comfortable approaching if they're out taking personal time, you know, and there were other times that were obviously busy with other people. I had an incredible time. Thank you so much again to TFNation for putting on a great event. The event itself was fantastic. I sadly didn't go to anything on the Friday because it was one of those type of things where I just got way too much into conversations and the time got away from me, so I never got to see anything on the Friday panel wise. Saturday I went to the David Kay panel and I checked out the anyway, I went to David Kay's panel on the Saturday just before I went into the dealer room. Sunday I went to the part 2 of David Kay's, and I also went to Michael Charles Hill's panel as well. So I only made like 3 panels. I was wanting to see more, but I missed out. But anyway, but yeah, it was just an incredible weekend. Very, very happy with the experience I had, as always. But the positive thing of this past weekend is I really hope the people that went for the first time, I hope you also had a great time. And it was great to have that lovely conversation, quite a deep conversation between me and that guy that I was speaking to outside during ClubCon. And I spoke to him a couple of times over the rest of it. That was really cool. I thought that was really, really cool. And also that girl from Norway, that was really cool to speak to her. Yeah, but yeah, like I say, I'm all too happy to talk to first timers and to if exactly, especially if they're a bit anxious and find it difficult to approach because it's their first time, they don't really know anybody. But yeah, I'm all too happy to do that. But anyway, so that's that. So I'm going to get into the haul now. Let's get into the haul, shall we? Right, let's get into the haul. I'm going to make this a bit quicker, get through my haul as quick as possible because this video's long enough as it is. I only had 2 items that I really wanted to try and pick up this past weekend, and I was very, very chuffed indeed to have been able to have, find them and trace them. Managed to find this guy, and I was so over the moon to finally get him. And of course, he's none other than SS86 Grimlock. Very happy indeed to get this guy. Also graciously, very kindly, Mr. Mark Pierce, he gave me this, a 4-pack of the live-action Transformers films, from the first up to Age of Extinction. Thank you very much, sir. Another item I really wanted to pick up this past weekend is this Masterpiece Rhinox. This was Rhinox. Very happy indeed. Also, the price is very, very decent for him. I also, even though this isn't Transformers related, but yet Simon Furman was there and he's the creator of this character, so I managed to pick up the Death's Head figure, Marvel Legends. Also, this guy I got off of John, aka the Wrecker. The Wrecker, is it 85 or something? Basically, there's a brand new set that came out, and it was like a versus set with a new version of Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper in it. And he came up to me saying that this guy was in it, and he wasn't really into it. He didn't really want it. I understand, obviously, toys are getting really expensive, especially the big packs with multiple characters in. He was actually going to offer me this for free, which is very kind of him, but I'm too much of an honest person to say, yes, I will say that for free from you, because that kid's just paid out full for it. But so no, I said, look, I'm happy, I would love to have it, but I don't want it for free. I'm happy to give you something in return because, you know. So yeah, so I managed to purchase this off him, which is I've never heard of this one, funnily enough, and I'm a Beast Wars fan. But this is Tarantulas, of course, but it's based off the prototype toy. It's the original prototype colours for Tarantulas with a completely different head sculpt. I also picked up the 40th anniversary of G1 Soundwave, and he comes with Laserbeak and Ravage. I also picked up this guy, G1 reissue, Insecticon Kickback. And I got off Toy Foo, because you've got to buy from Toy Foo. I got some more Insecticons. I got the full trio. These are not the G1 ones, but I got Bombshell, Kickback, and Shrapnel. And that is my haul, people. I'm very happy with it. It's not the biggest of hauls, but end of the day, it doesn't matter how big it is. I'm very, very happy. I'm content with what I got. Very much indeed. So that's my boughts and thoughts. Thank you very much. That's my thoughts and boughts, should I say. Thank you ever so much for watching. And again, thank you very much to TFNation for putting on a great event again. It was fantastic. And thank you to everyone else that made it a great experience. Everyone that I spoke to over the past weekend. Thank you so much. It was a great weekend. And let's do it all again next year. Take care of yourselves. Stay tuned. Take care. And hope to see you again next August. Bye-bye.